All right, hello everyone and welcome. This is Ubuntu Quality, our first of hopefully a few more utopic bug hug and testing day. And this hangout, we're going to basically go over a little bit about testing, how to do it. We're going to talk a little bit about bugs as well, exploratory testing, getting started on running the development release. Lots of good stuff, and we're also here to answer any questions you might have. So just feel free to prefix any questions you have with question : and I will try and pick them up. We'll probably do them between the demos and then have a Q&A at the end right before we finish. So I have Elfie, with me here today, and he's going to give a demo or two, and then I'll do the same. And like I said, yeah, any questions, feel free to shout out in IRC, and we'll get to them. So go ahead, Elfie.
Okay.
I believe Elfie is going to Elfie's going to demonstrate testing an application using the package tracker and talk a little bit about that. So go ahead.
Yep. Okay. Right. So first, what you need to do is go to the tracker. I'll put the link in to which IRC channel we're using, the on-air one or the quality one.
Yeah, you can ping us in Ubuntu on air, or if you're sitting in Ubuntu quality and you ping us, I'll watch both. It's fine.
Okay, well I'll just do it all in on air then. So that's where we want to be going first. Once you get there, currently you're seeing two things. You're seeing Trusty Daily. Well, you might be seeing it. I've got release clicked. So if you're just looking at testing, you'll only see utopic. Once you click into there, you'll see the list of products that we've got in the package tracker. We've got some common stuff: Kylin, Ubuntu, Ubuntu GNOME, and Xubuntu. I rarely see anything but the Ubuntu stuff, being the QA lead for that. So that's what I'm working on, and that's what I'll be looking at today. So if you click on the bottom link in there, which is that one, I've got everything set up in a few test suites and some optional stuff. I'm actually today going to be looking at one of the ones right at the very, very bottom, because I haven't called for testing for those yet, and I need to run through them anyway to make sure that they work correctly. So I'm actually going to be working on the mousepad one. I'll just put the link into the on-air channel, and then I'll do the screen share, because I've not done this before. So that's that. I'll just share that now. So you should be seeing that, I hope.
Yep.
Are you seeing that? Good, good, good. Okay, so right at the very top, we've got a link to the installation instructions and detailed information on the test case. Okay, so that's what we need to look at first. So if you click on that, you then see the test case that somebody's written, which we need to run through just to make sure that the application that we're testing is doing what we think it's going to do. So I'll just find mousepad and share that, and then you'll see mousepad and I'll be working through the test case. So does that make sense? I hope.
Elfie, if I can interrupt you for a moment.
Yeah.
Show how you got to the mousepad test case. I know you talked through it, but I think visually showing it might be helpful.
Okay. Cool. There, that one. Yeah. So that's the package tracker page. Is this what you mean, yeah?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So on here you'll see that there's packages, test cases for lots of different packages, and they're broken out by the different desktops. And so you can see, as Elfie was talking about, he went into Ubuntu desktop, and that's where we found the mousepad test case. So you, of course, are welcome to test any of the test cases that you find against whichever flavor that you happen to be using.
Yeah. So then I've gone in there, and here you'll see what I was talking about, the optional test cases at the top. Because there's a bug with the package tracker and you can't manipulate where test cases and test suites are. So right at the very bottom, we've got the ones that I'm looking at today. So we open up the mousepad one, and now we're back to, this is the page that you can put your past or your failed results or in progress if it's something that's taken a long time. So we'll just click on the information for the test case. So that's a test case. They're all pretty simple, to be honest, all of them. It doesn't matter what you look at, whether you look at image ones or application ones, they're all fairly easy to read and work through. So I'm just going to run through that test case now, once I've found the screen share thing. There we go. Okay, so in the test case is asking me to type something in there and ask me to save it, so I'll just do that now. We'll just save that. So then I would normally, what I would do is run through the test case, repeating all of the instructions that are given and ensuring that the result of the test matches what the test case is saying. So I'm just going to jump a bit now and find one of the things in the next case. Now what I have found is that there's a bug with this test case. If you're actually looking at it, you can see that the first test case is asking me to do a few things like typing in the quick brown fox, and then all of the other test cases, all the other tests within the test case, asking me to do exactly the same thing again. Now we don't want to do that because that's just wasting people's time. We know that that part of it works, so I need to actually just report a bug against this. So I'll just, where does that go? So I'm just going to go back to the package tracker here, and right at the top of the package tracker there's a link to report a bug against the content of the test case. Now what it doesn't do, it doesn't actually link to the test case number, which for this test case is 1557. So I want to just report this test case bug first before I do anything else. What's useful is that if you do have to report a bug against a test case, that you actually tell people which test case it is that are looking at it. just put something like that in the top.
Okay, and Alfie, while you type this up, so
while I'm doing that, yeah.
Right, this is a bug that you actually found in the test case itself. So I think in a moment then we'll go over if you found a bug while running the test case, meaning you found a bug in the application. So this is sort of a unique scenario that just happened to pop up since we picked this test case and actually found an issue with it. So, and if you're interested in writing or maintaining or helping us maintain the test cases, next Tuesday we're actually having a test writing hackfest. So you can join us, and I'm guessing Elfie will probably be working on fixing this bug.
Yeah, I'll work through fixing this one, yeah.
And so you don't need any special skills for that. Manual test cases just require you to be able to read and write English. So,
okay, you wouldn't. I'm actually going to assign this to me, which is something that people wouldn't normally do. And I'm sorting out the importance because I know how important I want it to be.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, cool, that's done. Okay, so where was I? Where are we? What am I sharing?
You're still sharing the browser window. So,
okay, cool.
Right. So presumably you've gone through each of the steps there, and as they're listed, the bold text you can see there is the instruction. You can see start at the top, typing in the sentence, and then the text that is immediately below that in italics is the expected result. And so you're going to run through each step and check it against what the expected result is. And so if you ever get a result that doesn't match what's expected in there, then you would submit as it says at the bottom, you would submit a failed result and you would file a bug. And if everything does pass, then you would submit a pass result. So actually, we could show that bit now, I think.
Yep.
Go for it.
So I'll just go back to the report page. Now I'm going to fail that against the bug that I've just created. You should still see that, shouldn't you? So, I'm just going to put a comment there because this isn't actually a fail in Mousepad. We don't know. This is actually a fail. I'm not going to fail it. I'm going to pass it because I know that what's in the test case works in Mousepad. So the bug isn't with Mousepad. The bug is with the test case. You follow that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And, yes, and you can still submit a bug even with a passing result.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm actually just going to put a comment in there. I mean, for these Ubuntu ones, it's me that gets to look at them anyway. So I'm kind of not going to put too much in there, but if people need to, the more information people put in the comment, if they're not sure about whether it's a bug with the application or the test case, the easier it is for somebody like me to find it afterwards.
All right.
Okay, so that's I've passed that, even though there's a bug. So yeah, gone through that.
So yeah, is there any questions? This was sort of a nice quick run through demonstration of utilizing the package tracker to run it. So Alfie is just running on a Utopic desktop, the development release, and it's just running on his local desktop and executing the test cases against the current version of the application as it stands in the development version of Ubuntu. So.
Okay.
All right. There's no questions on that. I think the next bit that I wanted to talk about a little bit was actually getting a development version of Ubuntu up and running. So let me see here. Essentially, if you want to sort of help out tests and join in, you can obviously do that using a live CD. You can use a virtual machine. Those are all handy things. If you really want to get into testing and quality efforts, running a development version of Ubuntu is sort of your first stop. And one of the best ways to do that actually is to grab an ISO, the daily ISO of what is Utopic at this point, whatever development release of Ubuntu is going on, and installing it. And we actually have tests for those images, and we go ahead and screen share while I'm talking through this. There we are. And so this is the ISO tracker. And so inside of here you will find both the images and the tests. So again, if you're looking to set up a new installation of Ubuntu development so that you can follow along and do testing, this is, like I said, the good first stop to start. At the top here, you notice some links. These are links to wiki pages and videos on how to perform these tests, how to use the tracker. So I'm not really going to cover a lot of that stuff. Instead, I'll let you follow those links and follow up and take a look as well. So I'll be a bit quicker. But again, so we'll go here into Utopic Daily, and you can see that we have all of the flavors listed. We can even filter that. I'm going to just show Ubuntu. So in this case, let's say I wanted the Ubuntu desktop AMD 64, and I, just before we started here, did the install entire disk test case, which essentially the page will load in a second. We'll see that. And so this is goes very similar to the package tracker. The layout is exactly the same, and you can see the test case, and at the bottom, oh, you can see I'm not logged in. I should do that. Once I was logged in, I would get the same ability to submit a pass or fail result and submit any bugs. And so this is the test case, and of course the all-important thing at the top here, the link to the download information where you can actually grab, as you can see, you can grab the image. So grabbing the image, running through one of these test cases is sort of a great way to get started. I did this utilizing VirtualBox for a virtual machine. That's one great way of doing it. You can also, if you're able, run it on your physical hardware, which is also really great. But since I'm hoping to share my system here, oops, let's hop over. All right. There we are. So as I said, this is the installation that I just did. So after you've completed the installation, you can actually fill in, again, the pass-fail result. Maybe you found a bug in the installer. The links and tutorials there all cover that stuff. So again, I won't necessarily go over that. If you have a question, feel free to ask. But at this point, now you have a desktop system. So really, where do you go from here? Really, you're able now to do what Elfie just showed. We can go to the packages tracker. Let me hop back over there real quick. Which is our packages.qa.ubuntu.com. We can head over here and go against the Utopic Daily milestone, and we can pick our flavor and execute. In this case, I'm looking at Ubuntu, and you can see we've got all the default applications here, and they have manual test cases. So I can run through these lists of test cases, sort of as my as my second step on my new utopic system, and file results. But after that, I mean, I can revisit these tests as time goes on, and that's all good stuff as versions change and things get updated. But on a day-to-day basis, essentially what you're doing by running the development release is you can do what we would call exploratory testing. And that's really just sort of making a unique test case that is your day-to-day use. And so let's say I'm a fan of, I don't know, about gedit. I'm a big fan of gedit, and we have the gedit test case on the packages tracker, and I've already ran through that. Of course, that doesn't cover all of the use cases. We don't attempt to cover all the use cases. We just want to ensure that the basic functionality of gedit works and that it's not horribly broken. That's the idea. To really move beyond that is where you as testers come in. And so if I love gedit and I'm using it on a day-to-day basis, I might find some bugs in it. I might also just be running it and find something weird. So the question is, what do I do at that point? So let me walk through sort of my thought process on, I can't spell terminal. On what I would do if I found a bug. Still can't spell terminal. Oh well. The first thing I would do is sort of try and repeat it. That's always a nice thing. Try and figure out the scenario that caused the bug. Sometimes we don't always have that luxury because we have a crash or something like that, and I'll go over what to do in those cases in just a moment. But let's say, assume I found a bug here in gedit and I can repeat it, and so I want to file it. Wrapper called Ubuntu bug. You can call it from the terminal, and it will help you file a bug. It does exactly what it says. And all this information that I'm going over, I'm sure Elfie can link it for you, is on the Bug Squad wiki under reporting bugs. There's a big, nice long explanation for all the different scenarios of different packages. If you found a kernel bug or you found a bug in the installer, all that good stuff is covered. So again, I'm not going to go into all of that detail for everyone at the moment. Instead, I'm just going to sort of give you a quick overview of what I would do and how it works. So Ubuntu bug has a helpful option that you may or may not know about called -w. And what that does is it allows me to, as it says, click on an application window to report a problem about it. So in this case, I realize this is gedit, and I know the package name. In this case, it's gedit. But that might not always be the case. And if you don't know the package name, or something happens, you've got a window on your screen and you don't understand it, this is a great way to be able to report a bug against it anyway. So I'll just click on gedit, and up pops a port, and it's going to gather information and help me file this bug report. Cool, good stuff. Hitting send at this point will take me into Firefox and launch into Launchpad. And I'm not going to actually file anything because I have not found a bug at this point. But if there is a crash, and I'm sure we've all seen the wonderful A-port dialog, and for whatever reason you're unable to report it at the time, or you're on a system that doesn't have internet access or something like that, I'll just quickly mention that there is a folder called /var/crash, and you can see this is a new system here. There's nothing in this folder. But A-port has the ability to, as you can see, submit a crash report. And you can also look at the other options here. It's probably easier if I do that. And you can see that the -w option that I told you about with the window, it also lets you pass a PID, Um, and the other interesting one that you might find useful in here is the save. And what this would allow you to do is, let's say my virtual machine here or another machine that I have for testing isn't connected to the internet, or for whatever reason I don't want to file a bug from the, say it happens in a live session, for instance, on my USB stick. I can save that crash file by calling Ubuntu bug with a dash save and then providing a path. So that's quite handy. And that's sort of how exploratory testing works. Essentially, like I said, just running the development release, doing upgrades on a regular basis. The only other bit I would mention is when you upgrade. This is let's look. You're going to perform a dist upgrade, and normally you may not even use the command line to upgrade on a non-development system. Instead, just using update manager, that sort of thing. When you're in development, whether you use the command line or not, the one thing that you need to be careful of is what we would call a partial upgrade, which is an upgrade that might prompt you to remove essential packages. And how to explain it? Essentially, the idea is that the archive, unlike the archive for a stable version of Ubuntu, is in motion. So there are constantly new packages being uploaded to it. We're a lot better about not breaking, sending a package that would break your system, but that is possible. And we're also a lot better about uploading things in tandem so that we don't we don't have an uninstallable image or an image that would have a package that would have a dependency that wasn't yet uploaded to the archive. But it's still possible to happen, and that's when you would see something like a partial upgrade. So there's still some small caveats, some things to remember when you're running a development version of Ubuntu. But again, exploratory testing. This is a big part of being a part of Ubuntu quality and being a part of making the development version of Ubuntu better. I think that's all I wanted to say. Is there any questions? I have not been looking at IRC. That's a slow connection. Yes. See, you love my blazingly fast. It's still updating. Lovely. Okay. If there's no questions, the final thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about was bugs, and part of today is doing a bug hug, and we've actually chosen Ubiquity. So anyone who sorry, the bug squad. Anyone who wishes to help on the bug front, obviously the idea behind reporting a bug is that you would someone will be able to do some triage work against it, make sure that you provide enough information and have a proper good bug report that can result in a fix landing in the archive. And so you can also join in on that work and do what we call triaging. And unfortunately, I wasn't unable to convince, or people were busy, sadly. Maybe next time, someone to come on and demonstrate some triage work. And I am not the best person to ask about this, but I'll still cover it quickly and at least mention the bug squad and the triage guide. The idea behind triage is, again, oh, we have a broken link. Let's let them know. The idea behind triaging is that, again, after I reported that gedit bug, it would go onto Launchpad and it would be unknown until someone else can confirm it. And you can be the person to help confirm these bugs by doing this triage work, and not only confirming them, making sure they're good bug reports and making sure they're filed in the right place. Again, just sort of doing that prep work to get the bug report in a position that it can be fixed by a developer. So there's a lovely guide with a, sadly, apparently a broken link. So we'll have to get on that. Oh, bugs triage. Weird. This might be it. This looks good. We'll have to fix that broken link. So anyways, I will do into IRC here. But for those of you looking for this, we'll update the Bug Squad wiki page so that this link actually works and takes you to the proper page. And this sort of goes through everything, describing it well. Talks a bit about A-port, talks a bit about how regressions work, how untriaged bugs work. So again, I'm not gonna try to explain it because I'm not necessarily the best person. But have a look here, and hopefully we'll be able to demo this in a later session. I think that's it. I think that's all of the demos for today. So anyone new, anyone wanting to jump into testing, again, go visit the ISO tracker. It's ISO. If you've got a spare machine, download the image and install it to that machine. If you don't, a virtual machine is great. It's what I'm running in right now. And get started. Run through an installer test, as you can see here under Utopic Daily. Pick any flavor you like. Once you're installed, you can do some of the fun stuff that we showed here. You can go to the packages tracker, run through the packages test case, and then you can go beyond that. Try and break things. It's always fun. Start reporting bugs, confirm bugs, all that good stuff. So I think we have a question. Belkinza asks, can test cases and, oh look, that's hilarious. It finally finished. And actually there is a lot of updates. Sorry. Belkinza asks, can test cases and exploratory testing work on Ubuntu Touch? Yes, so that's a good question. Ubuntu Touch is also has exploratory testing and people that run the development version as well as the proposed version, which is really more in line with what we're talking about here, running the version of Ubuntu before it's known, stable, and good. There is not a specific set of test cases on the tracker that we are targeting for Ubuntu Touch. Maybe that will change in the future. Maybe not. But certainly there's plenty of exploratory testing work, and I think we can probably demonstrate that and show that off in a later hangout. For the time being, swapping back to me for a second, just want to give you the link. There is QA team called Touch Testing, and this is more or less the up-to-date version of how you do exploratory testing and all that good stuff on Ubuntu Touch device. So yeah, we could definitely cover that in more detail at a later date. But everything I said applies. Again, the basic idea of getting an installed version for Ubuntu Touch, you'll need some sort of tablet device to install, and then target the proposed channel, and go to town, have some fun. You'll definitely find things that break running that. So if you're interested, definitely check it out. All right. Okay, guys. Well, if there's no other questions, Elfie, appreciate you coming on and demonstrating things for us. To everyone else, again, I'm Balloons on IRC. Elfie is Elfie, E-L-F-Y. Very simple. You can ping either of us or anyone else. We hang out in #Ubuntu-quality. again, feel free to ping us. I look forward to seeing and hearing from you guys. So running the development version of Ubuntu is quite fun. It's not too intimidating, honestly. And when you consider running it in a virtual machine or on some hardware that is okay if it breaks, so to speak, most of the fear or the worry of running development version should sort of disappear. And remember, if you have troubles, your answers are just a USB key away. Plug this in. If you've got or a CD image, whatever, the live CD is your friend. There's very little that you can blow up, and if you don't know how to fix it, you can always reinstall. So go wild, back up your data, run the development version of Ubuntu. Thanks, guys. See you.